December 31st, 1976, New Year's Eve, Herndon and Peach Avenue, Clovis, California. A vehicle loses control. Metal screams against asphalt, then impact. The car slams into a disposal truck at the intersection and erupts in flames. Orange fire climbs into the black sky. Inside, 26-year-old Martin Lewis burns. The convicts called him Crazy Horse. Earlier that year, he'd walked out of San Quentin State Prison a free man. He'd survived the most violent race war in California prison history, December 1974, when the Mexican Mafia and Aryan Brotherhood went to war against the Black guerrilla family. 2 men stabbed to death in one day. Crazy Horse walked into that dining hall ready to kill, but he wasn't Aryan Brotherhood anymore. He'd done something that had never been done before in the California prison system. Something the convicts said was impossible. He'd switched gangs. From the Aryan Brotherhood, a white supremacist prison gang with a blood in, blood out policy, to the Mexican Mafia, La M, the most powerful Chicano gang in the state. Both organizations had approved it, a unanimous vote. A Native American in the Aryan Brotherhood, sponsored into the Mexican Mafia by his childhood friend from Fresno. They called him Caballo, Spanish for horse. The California Youth Authority made him. San Quentin hardened him. 2 rival prison gangs claimed him, but freedom killed him. 26 years old, 6 months free, 1 impossible defection, and a car crash on New Year's Eve that ended the only story of its kind in American prison history. This is the story of Martin Crazy Horse Lewis, the man who changed gangs, the man who did the impossible, the man who survived San Quentin but couldn't survive 6 months on the outside, and the question no one can answer. Was it really just an accident? March 24th, 1950, Fresno, California. Martin Batty Lewis Jr. is born. Native American, middle name Batty. It would fit him well. Clovis, California, a suburb east of Fresno, predominantly white and Hispanic. This is where the boy becomes a predator. The California Youth Authority gets him young. Preston School of Industries, 1965, 15 years old. The system has him now, and the system will never let him go. In prison, there are 2 types of people, predators and prey. Crazy Horse chose his side early. June 21st, 1968, Pinedale Elementary School, West Spruce Avenue, Clovis, the swimming pool. 18-year-old Crazy Horse and 3 others attack 19-year-old Dennis Kennedy. Jack handles, tire irons, metal against bone, against skull. 3 days later, June 24th, arrest, Fresno County Jail, misdemeanor conviction, short sentence. But Fresno County Jail is where the real violence begins. December 27th through 29th, 1968, a 29-year-old prisoner, 9 men, Crazy Horse and Robert Raymond Wilson, lead the attack. The victim testifies later, beaten, restrained in the jail cell, subjected to sexual assault and torture over 3 days. 9 men participated, 1 refused. This is not seen as homosexual activity in the convict code. This is dominance, predator over prey, a power over the powerless. In 1968, this is currency. 1 man refuses, Manuel Arganor. Wilson stabs him with a jailhouse shank for his refusal, for not participating, for witnessing and saying no. That's disrespect in their eyes. That justifies the blade. January 17th, 1969, Fresno County Superior Court, grand jury indictment. Crazy Horse and 8 others plead not guilty to sex perversion charges. Trial date set for February 24th. They never make it to trial. January 26th, 1969, 7 p.m., Fresno County Jail, 2nd floor, M Street side. 9 men cut through 2 metal screens through bars. The opening is 13 inches by 15 inches. They make rope from blankets, lower themselves down directly in front of the women's jail entrance. 1 sergeant 3 jailers monitoring 428 inmates. Nobody notices. A visitor to the women's section sees the rope dangling. That's how they find out. 5 days later, January 31st, 5:30 p.m., Crazy Horse is hiding in his sister's bedroom closet. Fresno police find him, unarmed, no resistance. Back to Fresno County Jail, March 15th, 1969, plea change, guilty to escape. March 20th, guilty to felonious assault, state prison sentence. The district attorney drops the sexual perversion charges. Lack of evidence. The victim doesn't want to testify in open court, doesn't want the world to know what 9 men did to him for 3 days in December. Fresno County jailers have had enough of Crazy Horse. Transfer him to California Department of Corrections custody. Send him north to San Quentin. 1969. The Aryan Brotherhood is 5 years old. Founded 1964 at San Quentin by Irish bikers who called themselves the Diamond Tooth Gang, wore shards of glass in their teeth, formed to fight the black guerrilla family, white against black, protection, survival, power. But by 1969, the ideology is loose. They need soldiers, men who will kill, men who have already proven they're predators. The AB has fewer than 100 members in the entire California prison system. They're recruiting anyone who can put in work. Blood in, blood out. That's the motto. You kill to get in. You die to get out. A Native American in a white supremacist gang seems impossible. But Crazy Horse has something they need. No fear, no hesitation. Complete willingness to inflict violence. He's proven that in Fresno County Jail. Proven it with jack handles at a swimming pool. Proven it with 3 days of torture. The Aryan Brotherhood makes him one of their earliest members. The Federal Bureau of Investigation will later determine that the Aryan Brotherhood, despite making up only 1% of the prison population, is responsible for 18% of all prison murders, 1% of the population, 18% of the corpses. Crazy Horse is part of that 18% now. He has the brand. Shamrock tattoos, swastikas, the number 666. The symbols of the most dangerous prison gang in America. San Quentin, 1969. Crazy Horse inherits the AB's enemies. Black guerrilla family, Nuestra Familia. Every black and brown convict who sees those tattoos knows what they mean. But in 1972, something changes. The Aryan Brotherhood signs a truce with the Mexican Mafia, La M, white and brown against black. Aryan Brotherhood and La M against the black guerrilla family and Nuestra Familia. An alliance based on profit, not ideology. Early evidence that the Aryan Brotherhood cares more about power and money than racial purity. And in that alliance, Crazy Horse finds something unexpected. A friend, a Fresno homeboy, a Mexican Mafia member who knew him before the system got them both, before the gangs, before the blood, Martin Keto Vargas. (1957) Dual Vocational Institute, California. The Mexican Mafia is born. La M, Spanish for the letter M, the 13th letter of the alphabet. 300 to 400 made members, carnales, brothers, blood in, blood out. Primarily Mexican-American males from Southern California street gangs. Methamphetamine, extortion, murder for hire, control of the California prison system from the inside. January 19th, 1968, Fresno, 4 armed robberies. Martin Keto Vargas hits a sporting goods store, steals firearms. Police find 2 .38 caliber revolvers hidden in his room. Conviction, 5 years to life. 1970, Dual Vocational Institute. Richard Richie Ree from Bakersfield, one of the 1957 founders of La M, inducts 12 new members in a single ceremony. The largest recruitment by one Mexican Mafia member in history. They call them the Young Guns. Keto Vargas is one of them. Keto and Crazy Horse. Both from Fresno, both in the system young, both chose violence, but Keto is Mexican Mafia. Crazy Horse is Aryan Brotherhood, white supremacist and Chicano, enemies by definition. April 1972, San Quentin. Something unprecedented happens. The Aryan Brotherhood and Mexican Mafia form an alliance, white and brown against black, AB and La M against the black guerrilla family and Nuestra Familia. Not ideology, business, power, money, early evidence that the Aryan Brotherhood cares more about profit than racial purity. The alliance becomes intimate. A former Mexican Mafia member will later describe it. If La M is planning to make a move on the yard and the administration is searching known MM members for weapons, Aryan Brotherhood members will pack shanks to the yard for the hitters. That's how close they are. That's how much trust exists between white supremacists and Chicano gangsters in 1972. Unthinkable today. But back then, the lines blur. April 1973. Crazy Horse returns to San Quentin. He reconnects with Keto Vargas, Fresno homeboys in the concrete jungle. The friendship that started on the outside now exists on the inside, across gang lines, protected by the alliance. Sometime in 1973, Keto Vargas approaches Mexican Mafia leadership. He wants to sponsor Crazy Horse, bring him into La M, transfer him from the Aryan Brotherhood to the Mexican Mafia. This has never been done before. Blood in, blood out means exactly that. You kill to join, you die to leave. The Aryan Brotherhood doesn't let people walk away. The Mexican Mafia doesn't accept transfers from other gangs. Both organizations have the same policy, lifetime membership, no exceptions. But Keto asks anyway. Now some Crazy Horse does the unthinkable. He approaches his Aryan Brotherhood brothers. He requests permission to abdicate his membership, to leave the brand, to join the Mexican Mafia. At San Quentin, the AB leadership includes Blinky Griffin, Spotsburg, Irish Murphy, Danny Kavanagh, several others. The decision requires a unanimous vote from all of them. One no, and Crazy Horse is a dead man. Asking to leave is disrespect. Disrespect is death. The AB leadership meets. They deliberate. A Native American who joined their ranks when they needed soldiers, now asking to leave for a Chicano gang. Even with the alliance, this is unprecedented. This breaks every rule, but they remember the alliance. They remember Keto Vargas. They remember that AB and La M pack shanks for each other, fight together, die together. 1974. The Aryan Brotherhood says yes. Unanimous approval. Blood in, blood out is suspended for one man, one time, one impossible exception. Keto Vargas raises his hand in a Mexican Mafia meeting. He sponsors Crazy Horse. La M accepts him. They give him a new name, Caballo, Spanish for horse. The literal translation would be Caballo Loco, Crazy Horse, but most still call him Crazy Horse. The Carnales call him Caballo. He's housed in Max B, Maximum B security, step-down housing from the adjustment center, limited privileges, can't walk the main yard, exercises on the lower yard with other Max B inmates, but he's Mexican Mafia now, no longer Aryan Brotherhood, the only man in California prison history to switch gangs with both organizations' blessing. June 9th, 1975. Caballo dedicates a photograph to a fellow Mexican Mafia member. And the dedication reads, "This is my younger days, Preston School of Industries, 1965, but hot damn, the homie be looking plenty young. Along with this, go my love and deepest respect." Signed, Demano Crazy Horse, M for Mexican Mafia, a young man who found his place, a brother among brothers. But the path to that moment was written in blood 7 months earlier. December 8th, 1974, San Quentin East Block, 2:30 p.m. Black Dan Barella and Sailor Boy Gonzalez, both Mexican Mafia, stab Marcel Thomas, a black convict, twice in the back, once in the shoulder, unpaid drug debt. Thomas walks into the sergeant's office bleeding. survives, transported to the prison hospital. No weapons found, no suspects identified, but the black guerrilla family and the black population know who did it. They don't see this as business. They see it as a racial attack. War is coming. December 12th, San Quentin Yard. After lunch, Chicanos and blacks face off. Two men from each side meet in the middle. They talk. Violence is seconds away. Guards rush to the gun rails. Lock-up order over the loudspeaker. The men involved are locked down. Prison administration forms a climate control committee. The idea, influential members from each race will ease tensions. The reality, they put the attackers on the committee. Black Dan Barella and Sailor Boy Gonzalez represent the Chicanos. Danny Dog Rawlinson and Animal Newton from the Aryan Brotherhood represent the whites. Baby Cole and Zaribu Davis from the Black Guerrilla family represent the blacks. The gangs tell staff what they want to hear. The lockdown eases. But in reality, they're using access to distribute shanks and drugs, preparing for war. Christmas is coming. Packages are allowed into the prison, heroin and other drugs hidden inside. But the Mexican Mafia makes a decision. Forgo the Christmas packages, forgo the drugs, strike first. Cavallo sits in on the meetings on the lower yard. He's Max B, but he's Mexican Mafia. He knows what's coming. December 19th, 1974. Cavallo walks to the South Dining Hall with his carnales, ready to get busy with the Black Guerrilla family. 2:40 p.m. The explosion. Arthur Harris, stabbed to death in the dining hall. His cellmate, Gary Zaribu Davis, stabbed, non-fatal wounds. Zaribu has a shank in his possession, but never gets the chance to use it. He'll later admit to a fellow inmate, "They were fixing to move on us first, but we never got the chance." David O.C. Irie continues attacking Fox Felix, another BGF member, even after the guards order him to stop. A guard shoots Irie. 3:05 p.m. lower yard. Truman Nichols, stabbed to death by Black Dan Barella. Two men dead in 25 minutes. The race war at San Quentin, December 19th, 1974. Cavallo survives. He walked into that dining hall as Mexican Mafia. He walked out as Mexican Mafia, proven, baptized in blood that isn't his own. By June 1975, he's settled. The photo he dedicates to his friend shows a man who belongs, who found brothers, who survived, but California is changing its laws. 1976, sentencing reform. Cavallo qualifies for parole. He's going home, back to Clovis, back to the streets where it all started. 6 months of freedom, that's all he'll get. 1976, California changes its sentencing laws. SB 42, the Negri Bill, indeterminate sentences converted to fixed terms. Mass releases, Crazy Horse qualifies. Cavallo walks out of San Quentin a free man. He returns to Clovis, the same streets where he attacked Dennis Kennedy with jack handles, the same streets where Keto Vargas robbed sporting goods, stores. Somewhere in this timeline, the exact date of his parole is unknown. Something happens that connects the Aryan Brotherhood and Mexican Mafia in a way that's never been documented. June 8th, 1976, Lloyd's Bank, Mayfair Branch, Fresno, California. Two men walk through the front door. Martin Keto Vargas, Mexican Mafia, Crazy Horse's sponsor, his Fresno homeboy, and Barry the Baron Mills, Aryan Brotherhood leader. One of the men who approved Crazy Horse leaving the AB, Keto pulls a handgun, threatens a bank employee. They take over $100,000 in cash. Daniel D.C. Kavanaugh waits outside in the getaway car. Robin Bryan, Kavanaugh's companion, will later try to flee to Canada. The Baron and La M.A. together, robbing a bank, the alliance made flesh. Federal charges, Title 18, United States Code, Section 2113D, armed bank robbery. All four tried together. Vargas, Mills, Kavanaugh convicted. Bryan convicted as accessory after the fact. The case, United States versus Mills, 597, Federal 2nd 693, 9th Circuit, 1979. Barry Mills was born July 7th, 1948, Windsor, California, first arrested 1967, was state prison 1969 for armed robbery, joined the Aryan Brotherhood at San Quentin in the early 70s, rose to the three-man federal commission by 1980. Federal prosecutors will later say he's responsible for at least 14 murders. He'll die July 8th, 2018, one day after his 70th birthday, in ADX Florence Supermax. Natural causes, 51 years in prison, but in June 1976, he's robbing banks with Keto Vargas. The question, where is Crazy Horse when this happens? Is he out yet? Is he involved? Is this why he dies 6 months later? The records don't say. His exact parole date is unknown. What he did during those 6 months is unknown. Where he lived, who he saw, what he planned, all unknown. The 6-month gap, the black hole in the story. Did he work legitimate, stay clean, or report to his parole officer? Or did he get pulled back into gang business? Was he part of the bank robbery planning? Did he know the FBI was investigating? Was he running from something? We don't know. What we know is how it ends. December 31st, 1976, New Year's Eve, Herndon and Peach Avenue, Clovis, California. The intersection is unremarkable, residential, quiet, Crazy Horse is driving. 26 years old, 6 months free, the vehicle loses control. The exact time is unrecorded. What causes the loss of control is unknown. The car slams into a disposal truck, high-speed impact. The vehicle erupts in flames. By the time first responders arrive, Crazy Horse is dead. Survived San Quentin. Survived the December 19th, 74 race war. Survived Arthur Harris's murder. Survived Truman Nichols' murder. Survived switching from the Aryan Brotherhood to the Mexican Mafia. Survived the impossible. Couldn't survive 6 months of freedom. Was it an accident? New Year's Eve? Drinking? Young driver? Maybe he was impaired. Maybe the roads were wet. Maybe the disposal truck pulled out and he couldn't stop in time. Random tragedy. Or was it something else? Gang retaliation. The Aryan Brotherhood doesn't forgive. Blood in, blood out means you leave by dying. Maybe the unanimous vote was a lie. Maybe they waited until he was out, vulnerable, alone. Maybe the crash wasn't a crash, or federal heat, the bank robbery, Keto and the Baron arrested. Maybe Crazy Horse was involved. Maybe he was about to be indicted. Maybe he was running. Maybe he lost control because he was looking over his shoulder, or Mexican Mafia business. Something went wrong in those 6 months. Some debt, some disrespect, some violation of the code. La M is ruthless with its own. The crash report is missing. The toxicology results are unknown. The investigation, if there was one, is lost to time. The disposal truck driver's statement is gone. Witnesses, if any, are silent. January 4th, 1977, 2 p.m. Clovis, Funeral Chapel. Services for Martin Crazy Horse Lewis. They bury him at Clovis Cemetery. Who attends is unrecorded. Whether Keto came, already arrested for the bank robbery, is unknown. Whether any Aryan Brotherhood or Mexican Mafia members paid respects is lost. He's 26 years old. The alliance between AB and La M doesn't last. A former Mexican Mafia member will later say the relationship has changed, is no longer as strong as it once was. And whatever trust existed in 1972 and 74, trust strong enough to let a man switch gangs, that trust erodes. Barry Mills continues rising in the Aryan Brotherhood. 1979, he commits a brutal assault at United States Penitentiary, Atlanta. 1980, he assumes his seat on the AB's three-man federal commission. 2006, he's convicted along with 40 other AB members. Murder, racketeering. The jury deadlocks on death penalty. Life without parole. He dies in Supermax, age 70. Keto Vargas is convicted for the bank robbery. His current status is unknown. If he's alive, he's 75 to 80 years old. Whether he's still in prison or free, whether he ever spoke about Crazy Horse again, whether he regrets anything, silence. The culture that created Crazy Horse evolves. The sexual violence that was currency in 1968 becomes taboo by the mid-80s. Today, zero tolerance. Predators are targeted for death. The rules change, the codes shift, but some questions don't have answers. What tribe was Crazy Horse from? Why did he want to switch gangs? What really happened in those 6 months? Was the crash really an accident? Has anyone else ever switched from the Aryan Brotherhood to the Mexican Mafia before or since? Or was Crazy Horse the only one, the singular exception to blood in, blood out? Your life is a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. James chapter 4, verse 14. Martin Crazy Horse Lewis, born March 24th, 1950, died December 31st, 1976, 26 years, California Youth Authority, Aryan Brotherhood, or Mexican Mafia, 2 race wars, 1 impossible defection, 6 months of freedom, a mist, appearing, vanishing, gone.